Hello, my darlings. It is I, Stephanie Watson, your psychic comedian from We Are Tree. And I have a message for you today. Who would have thunk it, huh? Anyway, we're going to talk about synchronicity today. And I'm not sure why this came up, but it did. Synchronicity, what's the difference between coincidence and synchronicity? Well, and I'm paraphrasing here. Coincidence is when things happen and they don't have a particular meaning for you. A synchronicity is when the same occurrences, like coincidental occurrences, happen, but it seems like it's a personal message. An example would be like when you keep seeing the same number over and over and over. When you're talking about somebody to your spouse or somebody else and all of a sudden you run into them or you get a phone call from them. Those are synchronicities. Okay, we might think they're just coincidences, but they're usually synchronicities. Now, what I want to tell you is to keep an eye out on these synchronicities because they can be good or they can be not so good, okay? Usually what a synchronicity is it's kind of something for you to pay attention to. It's like, wake up, something's going on, let's figure that out. Sometimes the synchronicity will be a warning, something that comes to you so that you will pay attention to either a specific place, a specific person, an event that may not be in your best interest, okay? Why don't we notice more synchronicities? That's a question I hear a lot. How come I don't notice them? Well, the simple fact is we're not looking for them. We just don't. We don't look for synchronicities. They happen, and half the time we don't really realize they happen because we have so much garbage floating around in our brains that, say you see the number, this is just an example. Say you see the number 6, and then in 2 weeks you see another number 6. And then somebody starts talking to you about 6 something. And then you wake up at 6 a.m. There might be just a little too much time in between, or it just might be that we're not attuned to that because there's so much other stuff flying in our brains. So paying attention to synchronicities can be tough, again, because we're so crowded in our minds with other junk that we don't see them. But when you come across things such as, did I give that example? They're like, yeah, give it. Okay. Such as like you say you meet somebody, I'm going to use my husband's name. Their name is John. And then you go and meet some other people and there's John. And then there's another John. And then there's a John over there. And then there's a John back here. And then there's a John. That's like a synchronicity. So what does that synchronicity mean? Well, could mean a couple things. It could mean John's a really great thing. Or it could mean you need to pay more attention to John. Or it could mean danger, danger, Will Robinson, because John wants to do something. There's reasons for synchronicities, but it's up to us to glean that information. And sometimes that ain't easy, right? Because, let's face it, we're living in a human world. We go by mostly our human instincts. Rarely do we put our spiritual instincts first. It's just, that's how we are built at this particular moment in time. When we're experiencing synchronicities and when you realize it's a synchronicity, that's probably the best way to put it. When you're aware that it's a synchronicity, step back, take a breath. What is this trying to tell me? What does this significance in my life mean? Is it a good thing? Is it a not so good thing? Is it something I need to pay more attention to? I can't tell you, only you can tell you that. But I can recommend, you know what I'm going to recommend, because I say it all the time. I do recommend that you meditate on it and talk to your guides about it, because they'll be more clued in spiritually than you are at the moment. So talk with them, meditate on it. Things come usually not in a rush, but in a whisper. Oh, I like that. So listen to that whisper when you're meditating. What does the synchronicity mean? What do I need to know? It's not even do. What do you need to know? Chances are you already know it. You just haven't put it together yet. The ideas of synchronicities really get my juices flowing because I think they're just so cool. And they happen a lot more than we recognize. I'd say 9 times out of 10 we miss them. We just do. All right. So when you notice a synchronicity or 2 or 3 or 4, take a breath. What is the meaning of this synchronicity for me? Okay. All right. That's synchronicity, I guess, in a nutshell. And that's my message for you today. It's not a long one. It's not extra deep, but it is something that we are going to be seeing a lot of in the next 2 months. Believe me, they're going to be popping up and you're going to be like, so that's what Stephanie was talking about. Yes, it is. When they happen, remember, there's 2 things you got to do. Take a breath and ask your guides, what does this mean for me? Not tough, right? Well, the tough part is finding the moment to do that. Because as human beings, we sure like to put things off and just fill our time with useless stuff. Make this filling your time with something useful. Remember, synchronicities are there for a reason. All right, my darlings, you have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you are not subscribed, please do so. I actually have 50 subscribers now. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. So subscribe, like, share, leave me a comment. I love seeing comments. I love knowing that people out there are interested or even connect to what I'm saying. All right, guys, that's it for right now. I'll see you next time a message comes up. Who knows when it'll be? It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. I don't know. All right, guys. Mwah. Live blessed. I will talk with you soon. Okay, bye-bye now.